Before we jump into today's episode, we want to tell you something. We have got Patreon for you. Please sign up as little as £3 a month. Loads of benefits over there. We've got an extra episode every 2 weeks. We've got live shows that we've done, about 5, 6 of them, something like that.
Yeah, at least 6.
At least 6. So we've got, including the one that we've done at the Pavilion.
Yeah, the full show and behind the scenes footage from that.
Mm-hmm. We've got loads of benefits.
First dibs on upcoming live show tickets and stuff for our stand-up, etc.
Stand-up tickets. We do some stand-up nights for some laugh as well.
We do, and we should also mention that myself and Stuart's Edinburgh Fringe runs are on sale now, and there's tickets going for previews of both of our shows. I think, Steve, you might have got some stuff on sale as well.
I'm doing 3 previews and I'm doing 3 of last year's show, Caricature.
I've got a couple of wee ones in Glasgow. I've got one in Edinburgh. I've got one in Aberdeen coming up and one in Dundee. So check those out. We'll put the links in the description. Stuart's got ones in and around those same sort of places as well, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll hopefully see you there, guys. And aside from that, enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
You did the Pavilion, wasn't it? Or the
Yeah.
How was that?
It was so much fun.
Brilliant. We've not sat down since then, have we? Don't think.
We have
because we've done Ian Stirling. Well, we've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, you're right.
But you've even been here since.
Yeah, it's class. It's really fun.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's still quite a weird sort of. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of
kind of flew in, and then even like we've put it out now as well. Like it's out, and it's just sort of. Aye, it's funny that it just kind of went by in a flash, and that's it. But it was great. I know it was amazing.
I can't really remember being on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it? Right.
But it wasn't like steaming or anything. It was just like a sort of.
It's a funny thing because not that way. Like, see if you get a big gig in stand up, and like you really, you prepare for it and this and that. But like, there's only so much you can prepare. Just talk shite. So like we were like literally just, and then it's like you got and you go, what did we say again in that first half? And then you go into the second half and.
Nice. Did you manage to keep the time? Did you have a time? Why am I asking about? Did you have a timer in front of you?
Well, this was annoying, right? Because basically, I was told during the fucking break or something that like we had a curfew or we would get charged loads of money. Turns out all that would have happened is we'd had to have paid for the taxis home and the staff. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And then like, but I so like, literally we're pure. I'm thinking we need to be pure wrapped
double
up.
speed in the second.
Yeah, it's crazy. But but do you know what? It was probably the timing was about right.
Did you
anyway.
have a load of guests in the second half, or what was the?
One, just one.
Okay.
We
We had Marilyn on, and we had a few like kind of wee daft things throughout the show, and then we had a couple of guests. In as well. I'll just stick that there for you.
We had 10 legends of comedy backstage that we cut for time.
Yeah, Billy Connolly, who that, sorry.
We'll get you back next year.
We can't afford these taxes.
Where does he live? Where's his?
I don't know.
Billy,
America,
you know,
obviously,
like,
yeah.
Florida, he's living it up.
Living it up.
Living the vida loca.
So are you, Alison. You're on tour at the minute. What's going on? What's happening?
Oh, is it happening now?
Oh, aye.
Oh, hello. Shit.
We got that stuff you said about Graham Linehan as well.
You never know, we might come back. I'm on tour at the moment. I was just finished in Pocklington and Leek. Which very exciting places. Like Pocklington is directly between York and Hull, so I had people from Hull and people from York come to Pocklington. No one from Pocklington came to the Pocklington gig. I asked. I was like, "Who's from Pocklington?" So yeah, it's going great though. I like it. I like even coming here. Not going to say what train station I got off at, but it was cool discovering.
Glasgow Central.
Yes, that's it. Sure. That's it. Yeah, exactly. I love this place. Like I love discovering different bits of UK geography. Yeah. Loads of market towns. Like market towns don't really exist that much in Ireland.
No,
right.
So being here, like, do they exist in Scotland?
Because your spars are so good. You don't need a market.
We do, yeah. Our spars are incredible. Have you love spar?
I like the spar.
The Spar
What
in
do you?
Ireland.
Spars here are
Ireland,
fucking terrible.
The Spars here are shit. But
What's the difference between the spas here in Ireland?
Ireland,
Alison,
they do
please educate him.
hot food.
Yeah, they can do hot food like.
So they're like a fucking
They're like a
petrol
European-
station.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's like a well-being cafe.
That's exactly it. But
is
at
a
your
disgraceful.
doorstep, baby. At your doorstep. we have this thing in Ireland called so you know with the Wild Bean Cafe is like on the roads. What we have, and we've only I'd say in the past 15 years has been a culture of like bigger service stations in Ireland. We have a thing called Barack Plaza, which is a service station named after Barack Obama. And Barack Obama visited a village in the county next to mine because his like ancestors come from there. And he drank a Guinness. And what I've heard... you know that Jedward performed for Obama as a part of the official Ireland celebration of Obama.
That's a damning that is a damning sort of insight into talent in Ireland now with the back in the day you get Westlife and what these people.
Oh, what about
Jedward?
Westlife?
I don't know.
Jedward are the kind of in vogue right now.
Oh, I love them. They're woke bays.
Yeah,
like
they are.
genuinely.
Trying to think back now, they would get kneecap.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. What if the fella in Kneecap who was the balaclava is actually Jedward? Have we ever considered
Could be
that?
him and Blind Boy.
Yeah, combined together.
One's John, one's Edward.
I've seen Jedward with the Olympic torch running through Ireland.
Amazing.
They have been a part of Irish history.
Have you ever met Jedward?
Never, but I got a DM from Jedward.
Oh,
Telling me I'm
that's...
stylish or something, which was pretty cool.
I mean, you're wearing a lovely Shrek jumper. That's great.
Oh, babes, I'm double bagging. Wait.
Hey!
I went to Primark and they have a Shrek like section now, and I am still massively into Shrek.
Shrek's great.
Shrek is
fucking
class,
brilliant. I remember like going to the cinema to watch Shrek, not having high expectations. I think it was like 11 or something like that, and I was just watching. I was like, "Is this made for me?" It's so funny.
It's great. I remember the
It's so
first time
funny.
I watched it was the last day of P7. We got to watch
P7?
Primary
Right.
7.
Oh,
So like I was maybe 11, 12, and I was like, oh, I'm too old for this shit. I'm
I
too old for
know.
this. And then I fucking laughed out
Oh my God,
like a
what a
drain
Oh,
the whole way through. So
I went.
good.
oh, it's so good.
If we're all doing the first time we saw
We
Shrek.
are. Yes.
You never forget.
When was your first
I wonder
with
when the first
Shrek?
time Obama saw Shrek was. Probably what gave him so much hope in the first place.
Yeah.
I went to Dunfermline Odeon with my mate Ali, and he walked into a lamppost on the way in.
Well,
Oh,
I was laughing before I sat down, and I never stopped.
it's a
You
warm
were
up.
warmed up. When was your first
Jenny?
time?
I can't. I wouldn't say
You've
I could.
never seen it?
No, obviously I can't say I would pinpoint when I first seen it. Maybe was it the cinema, or maybe in school, like you're saying. But I do remember watching it in school, and like it was like a magical. Everyone was swept away.
Magical story.
And then it's like at the end, and they're singing that. What's that song again that they play at the end?
There's so many songs.
No, the one that is. But it's
I'm
like,
a
Isn't
believer.
I'm a believer?
I'm a believer. Aye, it's a
But it does go into
face.
dance.
I
It does
remember.
go into that, that's
Yeah.
I'm a
amazing.
believer coming on, and everybody like that was like everyone was singing that for days.
All you need is a drummer. Yeah, I love that. I last week I think I was like feeling a bit depressed, and I watched clips of movies. So I watched the bit where Jane Eyre, where Mr. Rochester's like, Jane, there's an impediment on my heart, and it's all about, but I am plain, and it's all like, oh my god. And I watched Shrek kissing Fiona at the end of the film Shrek, and she doesn't turn out of being an ogre, and she's like,
Beautiful.
but I thought I was supposed to be beautiful, but you already are, and I was like, incredible.
One of the great lines in cinema, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the
so
greatest
good.
love stories ever is Shrek
Beautiful.
and Fiona.
Yeah.
They're two disgusting people that found each other. It's like me and my partner. just like living in a house away from everyone, having the best time of their lives. Yeah, I fancied Shrek as a human and a bit as an ogre as well.
As both, I gotta say.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
lovely.
you're a good person.
Yeah.
Stu sometimes does that thing, you know, that filter on Instagram where you can put Shrek kind of like hugging you.
I based my last Fringe poster on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. That's all it
I
was,
didn't know that was a nod.
Stole that from the Shrek filter on Instagram.
That's incredible.
So I get sent a lot of Shrek stuff, and I'm assuming you do as well, because I got sent the video of the Primark range. I've not been down to check it out yet, though.
£7. I got the last. My mate is into Shrek as well, and I promised
We should get a group
her.
chat going.
I know the Shrekophiles, and he knew. And there in London, there's a Lush that's opened with it's a Shrek themed Lush, so you can buy like Shrek face care, bath bubbles.
Drop the routine, girl. That's what I always thought when I saw Shrek.
I know. I'm very sad they don't have like earwax candles like they do in actual Shrek. Yeah, so you're into Shrek in a big way too. The aesthetic is great. Like this color green.
It's
It's amazing.
What did you think of the accent growing up and now? Because it's
Interesting.
cultural appropriation.
Well, Mike Myers, he loved doing the old Scottish accent,
I
didn't he?
think he got Scottish heritage.
He used to do it in, I think so, maybe because he used to do it in SNL and all that as well. He had a Scottish character guy in that.
See, I think it's So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is like an early Mike Myers film. And the family, I think he does a bit of the clumps. I think he plays his family.
Right.
And it's like, it's good. Scotland and Canada have like a big relationship, don't they?
I think something like his football coach was Scottish or something like that, and he
Was
liked
it?
doing the accent.
Well, that's not
or he
enough
saw
of
I
a
thought it was
connection.
less tenuous than that. Yeah.
That was such a go-to move, like between him doing that, Robin Williams with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
They just certain guys like that. They just loved.
Groundskeeper Willie.
That's it.
I don't know who does the
He's
voice.
a great character.
Yeah.
Oil me up, woman.
We actually find that deeply offensive.
I'm just revealing, like, I'm very attracted to fake Scottish cartoon people. That's my thing.
Well, actually, no. I remember I went to LA a few years ago, just like for a couple of days, and I was walking down the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
And the only Scottish person I could find that had a star was Shrek.
No.
What did his hands look like?
Massive.
I was like, fucking Sean Connery's got to be around here somewhere. The fuck do you mean? Like?
I didn't know they'd done it for like fictional characters.
Not did I, but no, there is one that's
That's
literally
mad.
it just says Shrek.
Because you have to pay for that, like to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's like a certain amount of money. And some PR
It's like
people.
a review at the Fringe.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, you get in with the PR people, then the Times come in and you're grand.
That's all who you know.
So you can just pay for one even if you're not famous.
I wonder what
I'm
the
going to
level
say
of
no.
fame is. Do you think like the podcast?
we could try
split
it.
it 3 ways.
W.H. Smith guy on the Hollywood fucking Walk of Fame.
that'd be cool.
But I mean, who's paying for Shrek then?
It must be DreamWorks,
Right.
and it must be because if you see people who get the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you're like, that's a bit random. They have a film coming out or something.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? There's no real. It's fake valor.
Right.
Stolen valor.
Stolen valor.
Yeah, stolen valor. You call yourself a Hollywood star. You're a fictional character, man.
So you mentioned Obama coming to a nearby town.
Yes, and so he drinks out of the Guinness, and the Obama Plaza, they have a little museum dedicated to Obama now. So it's above. By the way, it's an incredible place. This is Irish food culture altogether. There's a place called Supermax, which you will never get in Britain because McDonald's will sue them into oblivion.
Really?
Yeah, because they share, like, the guy who set up Supermax is called McDonough, and in the late 70s he set up like a fast food place, and their burger is called the Mighty Mac.
Right.
So it's not like the Big Mac, but it's a bit like Coming to America. With did you watch Coming to America? One of the greatest films of all time. With Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And it's
does it hold up?
Yeah, it
Does it?
still does.
Do you only watch films with actors that were main characters in Shrek?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Charlie's Angels.
Keeping up with all the donkey's adventures. Not a bit. That's a good one.
The only Winston Churchill film I've seen is the one with John Lithgow. That's the no Gary Oldman for me. But like, sorry. Obama Plaza, they have a little like museum dedicated to him. There's also an air pump named after Conan O'Brien because he went there once. So and the food is like Supermax is like fast food, so you can get garlic cheese chips.
Oh yeah.
Like the fast food
sounds
culture in Scotland's great, I think.
So right, yeah.
Because me and my boyfriend were in a Japanese restaurant yesterday. We got like the veggie tempura.
Oh yeah.
And as he said, like Scotland gets a reputation for batter and everything. But
yeah.
have they battered avocado? Because that's what we like. Japan needs to get a ribbon for the
that-
amount of stuff that they batter.
Yeah, is that like a veggie tempura? That's
Yeah,
battered avocado?
but I've never had like avocado in a veggie tempura before.
I don't think it would go that well.
It's not.
It's too
not
different.
suitable.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it
like
holds
avocado
up.
mainly almost as like a kind of spread.
Yeah.
To put on like, a bit of bacon
Yeah,
or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I
It's
don't.
a texture thing, isn't
It's a
it?
texture.
Guacamole.
Yeah, guacamole's good.
Yeah, it would just all go to just melt inside the batter, surely. No?
It was like tooth-wise, it kind of held its texture.
Yeah.
But it was warm and it just felt it's like cum. Like cum is fine when
I don't
it's like
think we've
body
battered that
temperature,
yet.
but if it's cold, you're like, ooh, you know. But with avocado, if it's
the
warm,
opposite.
I'm sorry to bring it to that point.
That's
But
fine.
No,
That's
that's
absolutely
fine.
fine.
yeah, so
Very
like,
much in keeping with the tone of the podcast.
they got like all these kind of wet chips that you can get in Ireland, and there's a carvery.
Keep it on the cum, sort
Oh
of.
yeah. Taco chips is an Irish thing.
Right.
Where it's
What's
like
that?
it's a kind of Mexican-y mince meat with like a bit of pepper and onion. So it's like mince, like chili con carne,
Aye.
but
Yeah.
drier. And then they have a taco sauce, which is mayonnaise with like Mexican flavor spices, and then cheese, and then you combine those on top of chips, and it's lovely.
I'm salivating.
Yeah.
Are you
sounds good.
salivating? Good. So that's all above the.
Starting.
Doesn't make a change to any other day, though. Eh?
Wet mouth.
Yeah, you can learn about Obama with a wet mouth. It's beautiful. So,
Well, do you know, there's that famous thing though that Obama, when he went to Flint, Michigan, and the water was all fucked, and he to prove it was fine, he like kind of pretended to take a sip.
pretended.
But I'm like, I wonder if he's done that with the Guinness. He's like, I'm Irish.
Yeah, because they do make every Irish president drink a Guinness.
Yeah.
But apparently they have the real pint glass that Obama drank from. But somebody told me that the CIA and FBI, they smash every glass after a president has it. So bioterrorists don't take their DNA and
Really?
make a new president. I mean, that could be absolute. I did hear this off someone at a house party, but I felt like they were telling the truth. Like,
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I can kind of believe it. I don't know if they would make a new president, but
Yeah, that's maybe the far-fetched element of it. I think the rest is plausible.
Yeah, you
I think that's how Jedward came about. The first one was copied off the second one.
off a pint again.
I'll find again.
The first dual T-shock or whatever.
Yeah, he had that. Yeah, swinging Taoiseach or something they call it, or rotating Taoiseach.
Oh, aye, did you?
Yeah, where like two parties came together. There was a civil war in Ireland years ago, and the two parties that were part of that civil war were like, we'll never work together, even though they have the same policies on everything. And then they teamed up and became a government. And so you could only be Taoiseach for a year, and then the other guy gets to be Taoiseach. So they're tag team in Ireland at the moment. And no one's really getting off on it.
Yeah, I
like,
can
you know?
imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of complicated stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not big into my Irish politics. I'm
No.
sorry.
It's
Sorry.
totally fine. I'm not big up on Scottish politics, so
Yeah,
you
neither
know
am I.
there was something about a caravan. That's all. Like,
Camper van.
a camper van. That's all.
I don't actually know the difference, really, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I guess one's bigger. Camper van.
Is it
Is it
It's
one of them
just
you
a-
can drive and one of them you have to pull?
Yeah. I guess
Like
it's
a
camp.
mobile
so
I
home.
think that's right.
Maybe. I don't know.
There you go. What's the place like you're from?
Incisive political chat.
What's the place you like?
where
you're from?
I grew up and
Yeah.
stuff? It's called Ballymore, which is like it's funny because I used to say I'm from Mullingar, which is the nearest town to my village, because it's just easier in Ireland to go, this is the nearest town that I'm from. And then people in my village were like, why are you lying about where you're from? So it's Ballymore, but I was born in England, which is controversial. And
you and Shane MacGowan.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I met Shane MacGowan.
Did you?
Yeah,
what was
I
he
met
like?
Shane MacGowan. He was nice, yeah.
Did you know he was English at the time?
Yeah, like it's in his. So I went on a holiday with his wife to Morocco.
Wow.
For
This is crazy.
I'll talk about it.
What?
So in Ireland, I was going through some financial difficulties,
Right.
and I had a series, and the TV station that did my series was like, "We got this thing. It's called Celebrity Globetrotters. Do you want to go on it?" And I was like, "How much?" So I had to go to Morocco for a month, and I went with an Olympian, called David Gillick. I went with a guy, Derek, who was in this band called Crystal Swing. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
He was in a band of his sister and his mother, and they went a bit viral. They went on the Ellen show and stuff. They went incredibly viral. They had this song called He Likes Tequila, She Talks Dirty in Spanish. And it's an Irish country music.
What the hell's going on?
We can Google it. I'll show you after. And then who else? It's Victoria, who's Shane MacGowan's wife, who is a journalist. She, Courtney Love tried to kill her. So that's an incredible.
Do we need to say allegedly? Or?
Yeah, well, she would like.
She's dead then.
She interviewed Nirvana, or she was.
Courtney Love?
Huh?
Courtney Love's dead then.
No, you're thinking of Kurt Cobain.
But no, Courtney Love as well.
No, he didn't. I was going to say something really horrible. And then I remember this being recorded.
No one's saying anything offensive, but we're so close to tiptoeing into it.
If you could read my mind.
Yeah.
Who was the woman in 8 Mile?
Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy, yeah, that's
she
different
looks like
person.
her.
You think that is Courtney Love? You think that is Courtney Love?
Yeah.
Who's Steve Coogan shagged, right? We're going back there.
Really?
We need to put allegedly on that,
Allegedly.
probably.
Shag
wow.
Courtney Love, then.
Oh, yeah.
Before or after Cobain?
After. I'd say.
Yeah.
Steve
Playing
Coogan
with
didn't
fire.
kill Kurt Cobain. I'm confident of that.
Yeah, he did. So like, it was who else was it? Dana, who won Eurovision for Ireland the first time, and she then became a politician. She's very Catholic, and she's like not. She's very like she was on like evangelist TV in America and stuff.
Wow.
And she ran to be president of Ireland, and the other guy who came with us as well is this guy called David Norris, who tried to sue the Irish government to make homosexuality illegal. Like he ran illegal gay discos in the 70s. Wow. He refused Freddie Mercury and Elton John from the disco because he didn't know who they were, and he had to be explicit. He reads a lot of Joyce. He's into Joyce stuff. And anyway, he's one of the big reasons why homosexuality became legal in Ireland. Amazing. And he's an incredible man. Like he is. I'll tell you this story about Morocco.
By the way, what a fucking lineup!
Yeah,
so
what a crazy show this is.
It was fucking mad, like, you know. And we were going all the way around Morocco.
And this is called what? Celebrity
Globe.
When you
It's nothing to do with basketball, no.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
You're saying what no one was thinking about. And they're all spinning a basketball.
Guys, Harlem are going to wipe the floor with these guys.
It's going to do great. But
when you said the holiday thing, sorry, I thought it was going to be like travel man, like 2 nights in Lisbon or something. I didn't think a month in Morocco.
I thought it was just you and Shane MacGowan's wife. I didn't think it was this whole fucking
it was a hen. It was a massive minibus, like just full of us walking around. And the whole point of it, it's a bit like Come Down with Me. So a different celebrity would show a different city,
right?
And there would be a vote at the end of the thing to go who had the best. Who showed them the best side of Morocco?
Right.
And Morocco is incredible. Like, it's such a beautiful place. it is like it's such a big country. There's so many different, there's desert, there's everything, all that stuff.
Marrakesh.
Oh, we went.
Town. Fair to say.
Yeah, that's a market town. Yeah.
It is. It's a big fucking Medina.
I read a poem called Marrakesh in English.
Would you like to recite it for?
No. I can't remember if it was a poem or a short story.
Well, what is a poem if not a short story?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's Margaret. I failed.
So what happened?
So when I was younger, and I've never said this publicly, but when Dana ran for president, I was very against Dana running for president.
Right.
I kind of I was very into politics.
You're a big proddy.
I know, I'm a big... but like, I was big into David Norris. He was running against her. So, and I'd say I misunderstood Dana. We have very different beliefs.
Right.
Like, I'm big into abortion and stuff. Love it. So I was in the market, and I'm very bad at haggling, very bad at saying no. And culturally in Morocco, there's a lot of haggling. There's a lot of it's robust conversations when it comes to selling stuff. So I felt a bit overwhelmed, and Dana pulled me out with the Medina, and I was crying, and I'm being saved by a woman who 3 years ago I hated.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
wow. Yeah.
And this is a grim story, but I think it's nice in a way. So we're in the desert in the middle of Morocco. There's no phone signal for days. There's coyotes and shit. I don't know if they're coyotes. Wild dogs are running around there.
Hyenas.
Yeah, something like. But I didn't get any messages for days, and then the minibus is driving out onto the motorway. My phone starts pinging. Right, I'm like, Jesus, what's going on here? And I look. And what had happened was a cousin of mine had died in a car crash. So it was all my family contacting me. So it's very sad. So I start crying straight away. I'm just bursting into tears, right? And then I hear these, and they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, my cousin after dying. And I hear this whisper over my head. And I'm looking up, and Dana is saying a Catholic prayer over me. And then David Norris is over me as well, saying a Protestant prayer over me. And then the bus driver, who's Muslim, is saying a prayer too. So I'm like, wherever she's going, she's sorted. You know what I mean? She's definitely going to get into some sort of afterlife with because that's the most Protestant man in Ireland and the most Catholic woman in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
You know, combining. It is pretty grim. You're like, I don't know how to react to this. But
it's like an Instagram collab, innit? It's when you tag each other. I was just thinking at first, maybe they'll cancel each other out, but then no, I guess it'll,
Yeah. Imagine if they did cancel each other out. I was going to let you in, but there's been a Muslim prayer, and I'm afraid it's to hell with you.
And see these two people that are praying over you, so did they literally run against each other in an election? Before that?
Fucking crazy.
They're actually pals. As in
they all are, aren't they? They're Illuminati
there was
meetings.
a lot of debates in the minivan.
Really?
There was a lot, but it was all debates about the EU. It wasn't debates about and also I was such a coward. I did not tell Dana in any, because as well as that, because she was so nice, I was like, there's no need to say that I had a Facebook profile picture of you with a shit on it. We're enjoying a lovely tagine together. Why ruin it with that? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, I know. There's still a WhatsApp group and stuff.
Why?
And so, if we ever are eating, tagines or anything, we'll send in a picture. Hey, guys,
Send in the Marrakesh poem to them, see if they like that.
I will. And
doesn't this just sum it all up?
but I met Shane going to interview Victoria for a podcast. I used to have this podcast called the Alison Spittle Show, where he just interviewed people. And my favourite interview I've done on that was, so I was in a shop, and an old fella came up to me, and he's like, I've seen you on the telly. Are you on the telly? I was like, yeah. This is in Ireland. And he goes, well, look, I've after marrying my best friend, and we're not lovers or anything like that. We're best friends, and we've married each other because same-sex marriage was brought in, and they were brought to court, and they were like, "Do you want to interview us?" And I was like, "Feck yeah!" So I interviewed the two lads, and it was like one of the best for me anyway. I know it sounds like such a, but like they're both, you know, in their like one's in their late 80s. He's passed away now, and the other guy's in the 70s, and they're both just very interesting lives.
Wow.
Like yeah.
So why did they get married? Just because they
got married because the older guy. Well, they're really really good friends, and they live together. Like they were lodging together, and they wanted the same rights to have the house left to him.
Right.
In the way, so it's like that's why they got married.
Yeah.
And it was real, and basically, I don't know, people were like debating this because they weren't fucking each other. Essentially,
That's
think
crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
But even when if you're 80 or whatever, you're probably not fucking anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it would never be questioned if you're like, yeah, it's a strange kind of, but it's companionship, and like they genuinely do love each other. Yeah. Like when I was sitting, they absolutely think so highly of each other. It was really lovely.
But then is it not like the marriage isn't official unless you consummate it? Is that the thing?
But how do you find consummating it?
But how do you
hell of
find
a scoop
that
on your podcast, get them to bang.
I just leave the Zoom in, lads.
Put us behind the paywall.
Yeah, exactly.
But how would anyone ever find out anyway? Do you know what I mean?
I know, but I think it's because I think they said, I think it was like one of them had said like, we're getting married because we're mates kind of thing. Yeah. And then there was like big debate over it, and there was a documentary about it.
Right.
But it's kind of fun just to meet them in a shop and then go, I like to explain what a podcast was. We're like, we're just going to have a chat. So I love doing that kind of silly stuff where you know, you meet people that are not like celebrities but are interesting.
Yeah.
That's that kind of stuff I like to do.
Kind of Louis Theroux vibes.
Yeah, I used to love Louis Theroux. And I still do. Why am I saying it like that? Well, I found it more interesting. It depends on the celebrity. Like if it's a Pete Doherty, I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. But like,
I was the same because there's like 10 or 20 of those new ones, isn't there? I've watched the Pete Doherty one, and I think I watched, is it Joan Collins or someone?
How was that? I haven't seen that
good.
one yet.
But for some reason, none of the other ones really appealed.
Getting back talking to Nazis in jail. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, pedos and
Nazis and nonsense. Come on.
Yeah, the two ends. How do they live their lives? Yeah. It's did you have any local pedos when you grew up?
I thought you'd never ask.
Growing up?
Yeah.
Nah, there was always rumours, but you were like, they're not worth much.
Was there not a guy kind of around here that was like caught in one of those beasts, you know, like
there was a guy
kind of videos.
Yeah, there was a guy like that.
I used to go on chat rooms as a kid. And
did you catfish pedophiles?
Yeah. Pretend to be older than I was. About 11, I was like, I'm 15.
Was this for an Irish TV show?
I'm 15. Do you want to spend a month in Morocco with me?
There's no laws. No, I used to like the relationship I had with pedophiles as a child was one of like very like it was they were used in a disciplinary way. Like my mom would be like, the man will take you, and no, the implication was the man will take you, and he's a nonce, you know. So I was always going on to chat rooms to try and like catch them, and then I'd be like, by the way, I'm 11. And I thought if I typed in paedophile into a chat room, it would mean that the police would come and raid their house. So I always like imagined that I was like catching paedophiles when I probably was not. It was doing the opposite. Like,
you were training them to be more stealthy.
Yeah, I was like self-grooming myself.
So you just reply to them, paedophile, shut the laptop, right? Another job done.
The streets are safe for tonight.
Yeah, just imagine a SWAT team kicking in a door in the basement, man holding a gun up to his mouth.
God.
How did you find these pedos?
I'd go into teen chat. It was a chat room for teenagers. Right. It was. I used to love doing the. Did you ever go into chat rooms?
Like MSN, would that count? No.
No.
How old are you?
That's
Not really.
How old am I? 32.
So like
31.
I'm 34,
Right.
and I think you must have missed the boat when it came to like chat
Just
rooms.
missed it.
Yeah, because I never chatted to people I knew on the internet.
Yeah, it was
Before
only
that.
people. But although you could send your friend list to people,
You would get randoms,
and
on
you'd
there,
get
wouldn't
random.
Would you get randoms?
I would do not the pedo thing, but I would go into a group chat with a bunch of like BAMs, Neds from like Bon Hill and Scotstoun and stuff like that, and then I'd go, yeah,
At the big
fucking
man.
wanks. Shite bags and all that. And then I immediately block them.
That's funny.
Fucking moan then, right? You block it.
delete.
And just type in paedophile and let the police do it.
Well, there used to be like chat rooms on Teen Chat where you could role play as like vampires and stuff. Did you ever? So there'd be a thing called the Vampire's Lair or the Tavern, and I used to go in, and so it would be the most intricate introduction. Someone will come in, so it'll be like Vampire 69 enters the chat room, and then it'll be like Vampire 69 chat typing.
That's a telltale sign straight away. They're a pedo then.
Vampido. But I've got another point. I'll tell you in a second, right? Because I'm a control me, by the way. I'm a fecker for like.
No, that's really good.
Because I got my hair done recently. I put red in it, right? And I like it, but there are sometimes it falls in a way that I look like I look like a 22-year-old man from a rural part of Ireland who has a 15-year-old girlfriend who's a goth. Do you know what I mean?
Hanging about the school gates.
Yeah, the adult man who buys cans for the children. The chat rooms. So Vampire 69 will be typing away, and then it'll be the most intricate introduction going, Vampire enters the tavern. He looks around, he licks his lips. And then it'll be like, his dark cloak sweeps across the bar. One tankard of ale, milady, or whatever. And it'll be this long introduction. And then they will, like, role play fighting each other. So it'll be like, Vampire gets his fangs and sticks it into whatever. But I would role play as, because I was looking at this and I thought, it's silly to be a vampire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to role play as a clown car that's on fire. So that's what it'll be. The clown car on fire, 69. Enters the chat room. And then it'll just be me going, help, I'm on fire. And then I would interrupt all of their role playing with like, it burns.
Like ruining an improv scene.
And then they try and fight me. And then I would be like, I have a clown car on fire. I feel nothing. Still I burn. So that would be that. Yeah, I used to role play.
Amazing.
Like I lived in a rural part of Ireland, and I got very bored. We had like dial-up internet. Used to prank phone call Childline.
Oh yeah.
On
what would you say?
sleepovers.
I tried to do that.
Did you do
once
that
as well,
too?
Yeah. Just like shouting help, and then hang up. But no, is that not what you did?
No, that's
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to figure out what the joke
Was
is.
that right after you'd slagged off all those people on MSN? You went,
The boys are coming. I've doxed myself.
I need a SWAT team outside my front door as well.
I used to pretend to be George Bush and ring up Childline.
Oh right.
Like as a kid, and then they would keep me on the
Probably not where
phone.
he was Bush.
This war on terror is really getting to me.
Another prank caller has hit the child line.
Trauma doesn't melt child heads.
What happened to Prime Minister? What did you put in an accent when you were George Bush?
Yeah, and someone told me as a child, I think I was watching like a TV program, and they said Childline will literally never hang up on anybody. So once I found that out, I just was like ringing them all the time. But then I would eventually tell them I had problems, but it would take a long time. It would take an hour of me pretending to be George Bush, and then I'd be like, I'm getting bullied. The kids think I'm weird because I pretend to be a clown girl on fire on the internet. So like I grew up in so I moved around a lot as a kid, went to Germany, stuff like that. Grew up in a rural council estate in the middle of a village, which was fun because like you wake up and you see sheep outside your house, because they're like I was directly behind an old ruin of a castle that a farmer used to like put his sheep in to like shelter from. And sorry about this. And yeah, it was weird. Like some of my friends weren't allowed to my house because they said it was rough. Mm-hmm. But it was like 16 houses and nothing really happened in it. Like someone crushed up his mum's nerves tablets and snorted that. Like that was or soap bar hash. That was the epidemic of like a rural council estate. Is like you get all of the what exclusion is the wrong word, but like you get all of the kind of like, oh, you're from a council estate, but none of the actual fun. Yeah. Like I would have liked better drugs. That's all I'm saying. You got the dregs of everything. Yeah. So and we used to have like did you in our estate had like family houses and then old people houses, and there was a guy we used to go to his house every day and just smoke fags in his house, and he's like in his 60s, and we were all like 12 or 13 playing blackjack in this man's house.
He's the only one you're not calling a paedophile. Yeah.
Well, people did say, but we were very adamant he wasn't.
Yeah, we just smoked fags together.
He used to tape Top of the Pops for us. We used to watch like or Pop World or like or we'd watch cowboy films and play blackjack, and he would microwave bacon, and that was about it. And then he would dip the bread in the bacon fat on the plate. It was disgusting.
Oh yeah, my mate's mum used to do that.
Did they?
Yeah.
It's mental. It can't
Crazy.
be. It can't be like. Look, man, I'm all for consuming animal fats, but like do it in a nice way. It feels like
she dipped into the George Foreman grill tray, you know, the tray of fat.
That's rank, man.
She'd dip in the bread and eat.
Is that what she thought the tray was for? It's like that's the gravy section.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's actually the good stuff. The stuff that's being drained away.
A little bit of balsamic vinegar in it. It's fancy.
Oh wow, that's like if she toasted the bread, I would get that. Like if you put the bread into the grill, it heats it. But anyway,
yeah, like fried bread.
Yeah, like a fried bread vibe, but not like bread and animal fat. Like.
I tried fried bread. I don't like it.
No, it's not. It's too much.
I like it, but it is too much.
You
feel rank.
It's like you feel fucking. It's like a fourth wank. It's like I did not need that, and now my day is fucked. I just feel disgusting.
That sort of environment of like there being an older person that was usually like just smoked a lot of fags or hash or something, who would just sort of let you in their house. Sometimes it was just like somebody's mom or dad, like if they were like, you know, the cool parents, or just very bad parents.
I was thinking that.
It's like they would be the one you'd ability just drinking. They would sort of drink with you.
A lot of cool parents are getting called social services. Yes. I'm the cool guy. I know what you mean. There's always like a free house, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where teenagers go to, and our one like it was a mad kind of. We never had like house parties there, so. I have this friend and she lives in a bigger town, and she's from an estate where they also had an old man who would let them smoke fags and stuff. But he was pervy. Like we knew he was pervy, but he was in a wheelchair, so we were fine about it because like if we closed the door, we would leave him. He would like he would grab your arse, but we locked him into places. And he had like a strict rule of no boys were allowed at the house parties. Oh. So we would lock him in and then let all the boys in. Let me out. We'd be like, no. Yeah, it is like elder abuse, but he was a pedo, so
it's ableist, but he's a pedo, so
yeah.
I
I hope he's all right, but like
he's
you know,
phoning childline in the back room, saying he's getting bullied.
kids have taken over my house.
A great time to find out that he forgot to unlock the door. And
he's still in there.
oh shit, what happened? Oh no. So that was just, so you grew up in that kind of place. So when did you move out young? Did you go to Dublin or did you go to, where did you?
So I moved out of Westmeath. I went to Dublin to study radio in college. So I went to this place called Ballyfermot, which is a further education college. It's behind the Tesco's. So that was my third level education. And yeah, it was I loved it. It was a great college, but like literally, so what happened was in secondary school, I was clever, but I never applied myself. And
even with the threat of pedos coming around.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know. Somehow that didn't work. Like, do your exams or the man will take you. I'm like, I'm 17. But like, yeah, I didn't get the grades that I needed to get into that Ballyfermot college. So I moved to England. I was just convinced I was going to work in telesales for the rest of my life. And I was like, this is fine. And then I got a phone call from the college going, where were you? You were supposed to be in today. And I was like, I didn't get the grades. And then they were like, oh, we'll call you back. And then they were like, I come in anyway. So, yeah, got the train the next day and then went to college in Ireland. And I loved it. Like, it was I'm trying to think of stuff. We studied radio, really wanted to do radio when I was younger. I worked in a radio station and that was class. I worked in a youth radio station one town away from me in the middle of Ireland, and we used to get like The Wanted came. Do you remember that boy band? The Wanted.
Yeah. I'm glad you came.
The sun goes down. Yeah. So we ran a competition that you could meet The Wanted, and all these schoolgirls, I would say about like 30 schoolgirls, so it wasn't too many, but they're all like screaming outside the radio station, going, The Wanted, The Wanted. And my job was I was like doing the admin side. I was like the runner. They said, you need to find the girls that have won the competition in the crowd. So I was calling out these names, about 5 people, and I called out 4 names, and five names, but only 4 people had turned up. And then I said to this girl who was screaming, I was like, your name is Veronica McKenna. And she's like, what? And I was like, your name's Veronica McKenna. She's like, okay. And then I got them into for the competition. I felt so cool.
That's cool.
And I was only like 2 years older than them, but I felt so class. I was like, I'm an adult. So yeah, I worked in a radio station for a couple of years, and then got into stand-up and kind of pursued that from then on. And how I got into stand-up was the radio station I was working at. There was a DJ who was he was a comedian, and he said, you should give comedy a go. And I was like, fuck off. And he's like, no, seriously, I'll organise a gig.
Oh, cool.
And so I did it and just loved it ever since. Yeah, so that's kind of like,
was your first gig like, did you enjoy it or did you?
I loved it. Well, it was kind of like, I didn't give a shit about, if I'm being very frank with you, I didn't give a shit about comedy before I started comedy.
Right.
Like, the only stand-up I saw was Eddie Murphy Raw. Or
Donkey, you mean?
Donkey.
Yeah, Donkey, yeah. Shrek has been a very big
I've seen
trend
that, and
in
what
my
was
life.
it? I was Mike Myers live at the concert.
Cameron Diaz done a type 5.
Yeah, that was incredible work. And I saw like a Tommy Tiernan DVD, but it was on mute in a house party, and that was the nearest I got.
A pedo's house party.
I was too busy playing blackjack.
So like, yeah, I didn't. So I did the gig. I was scared about the gig. The only piece of advice I've been given was from other people in the radio station, and one lady came up to me. She's like, look, I saw a guy do a load of paedophile jokes. It was frankly destroyed the room, and I wouldn't do that. And like, also someone brought up suicide, and I was like, yeah. So then I wrote this joke that was like, I've been
killing
told
himself.
not to do any pedo. There we go. That was the first joke I wrote. Yeah.
I'm sorry for spoiling.
No, but that's it. It was basically that I've been given advice not to do any paedophile or suicide jokes, which reminds me about the time where Gary Glitter came round to my house, put a pencil up each nostril, and slammed his face off my dining room table. And it's the most horrible image ever. But it did go down well.
I was going to ask, did that get a laugh?
Yeah, it did. And the rest of it was like slandering my granny. Because my granny's a mad bastard. I just did a load of stories on her. Because like my granddad found a hot tub at the side of a road, right? And he ran home, as you do.
Is that not in James Joyce as well?
An old abandoned hot tub on the side of a road. But like he brought it to the house and we cleaned it up, and then we put the dogs in it and washed the dogs for the crack for the first time. And then we got into it ourselves. It was like me and my cousins and my granny. And we're all having a few drinks, but we live in Granny lives in a rural part of Ireland. So it would have been a ball ache to go to the off license to get another few drinks. And my gran just absolutely, she'll drink anyone under the table. My granny is like a celebrity amongst, how would you say this? Like, she's like a little mini celeb in her hometown because she's eccentric and mad and and a massive alcoholic. But she'll sing like she often would clean people's houses, and she'd sing Barbie Girl, or she would sing Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang, you know, the song, you and me, baby, but she would make up her own lyrics, and they were more explicit. They were like, she would be like, put your hands down my pants and feel my ting, and I'll give you something that'll make you sing. So I did a load of, so I did this story about us. We told her if she drank alcohol with a straw, it'll get her drunker quicker. So she was very much in favour of that. So we put a straw in a bottle, and then she was that drunk that her hands were just flapping in the bubbles. Like she was like, it was like she was in a church in America going, praise be. But we just took away the bottle and left the bottom of the straw in the water and let her drink that for like 2 hours.
Drank the hot tub.
Hot tub water. Yeah.
The side of the road hot
Yeah,
tub.
that we
Fresh out
just
the
washed
dogs.
Jesus.
It was genuinely disgusting. And she went really quiet for ages. So we were worried we killed her. So that's what the stand-up was about that. And there's like, yeah. But the whole point of me doing the stand-up was, because I loved radio so much, I was just doing everything I could to keep doing radio. But then when
did you not get into radio because you just like text them in one day or something?
Yeah, I did.
Aye.
Because okay, I'll tell you about that. So I was like, I was living in my estate, and our estate has like a basketball court but no mobile phone reception. Like, it's so rural.
How did the Harlem Globetrotters get on when they came
down? Spinning around. We had a priest that blessed the basketball court and everything, like, because it was like open.
They might have beat us in Morocco, but we'll take this back to our home
on the
court.
home leg? Can you do it on a rainy Tuesday night in Ballymead?
Beautiful. So like I used to text into radio. I was one of those, now that I listen to radio now, I'm like, what kind of sad bastard texts into radio? But I was that kind of person. Like when I grew up, they asked a question that said, who's your favourite character that's been played by multiple actors? So it could be Batman or Superman or whatever. And I texted in and I said, I love it when soaps replace when ugly children go away for a holiday and then come back with abs. Do you know what I mean? So they always like replace like prepubescent children with like a teenage man. Yeah. So I said that and then they asked me to go on air and chat about it. And I had a lovely time. And then they asked me to review films for them. So when I was 15, I was reviewing films for like a
Shrek.
national radio station. Yeah. It was like 300, those types of films.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to get a check in the
Another
post.
bad Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Jerry Butler.
Oh my God. And the worst Irish accent ever been done by Jared Butler for P.S. I Love You.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was bad. But like he's a charming man. But yeah, I used to skip double German and go because it was a daytime radio show. I used to hide in the toilets when I was like 15 and review films in school. And then my teacher was like, "Where are you going? Do you go at the same time every time?" And I told her, and she was like, "You can just leave and do it." Right. So they allowed me to just skip a bit of school and review films.
What's the worst film you've ever seen?
Reviewing or just ever?
Well, both.
Did you ever really go in scathing?
Go hard on that?
I didn't like 300, and the consensus was 300 was good. I liked the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles film that came out at the same time. The worst film I've ever seen, I can tell you about. There's this film, I think you'd like it. I don't know. It's called Fatal Deviation. It's an Irish film.
Right.
It's the only Irish martial arts film. It was made in the late 90s, and they have a monk in it, but he's a Catholic monk that teaches kung fu and stuff. It is such a fun film to watch, but it was like really low budget. Half the town were involved in making it.
Does sound good.
Yeah, the stuntman really crashed a car, and they just filmed that. Like, they filmed the crash of the car by accident, but then they wrote it into the story. Like, no other cars. And, there's like a famous scene because Mikey out of Boyzone is in it doing his acting debut, and you can definitely see they only got him for an afternoon because he's always like in a corner. You never see Mikey from Boyzone in a room with anyone else. It's always like, but he cuts up some cocaine with a Dunnes Stores value card, right? So it's like a Tesco club card. You're cutting up cocaine with a Tesco club card. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
It's a really great film.
That sounds great.
It's so good. Yeah, and like the worst films I've seen, Pearl Harbor. I remember leaving halfway through that.
Never seen it.
It's too unbelievable, isn't it? It's never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so far-fetched.
Is Pearl Harbor like anti-war or is it like war's class?
But you know what? This is funny because they had an interval. Like that's how long ago Pearl Harbor was, and I left at the interval because I was a kid. But it was just about like Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett fucking the same woman.
Right.
And Japan fucking Pearl Harbor. Right, maybe I shouldn't say that.
It's an undeniable fact. They did fuck Pearl Harbor. Unless it was an inside job.
Yeah, it's an inside job.
Who knows?
False flag.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theories?
I've done sort of full circle on it. I used to when I was younger. I was that was mad rabbit holes online, like 9/11 stuff and all that.
I used to go to rotten.com a lot.
Rotten.com?
Remember that website?
Vaguely.
No.
It was a website like you could go look at autopsies and stuff.
Was it like Wikipedia or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, it is like that. Yeah.
4chan had a lot of that sort of stuff.
Is all that stuff still kicking about? Is that out there?
Like rotten.com. I think that's Twitter now, isn't it?
Yeah.
X.com, isn't it?
I suppose Reddit and all that, I suppose.
There's so much awful shit out there when we were
It's
like...
just says corpse in bio.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But, no... what I was going to say, I can't remember.
Conspiracies.
I went full circle and then I was like, I don't believe in any. You can basically find everything out there and who runs everything and stuff. It's all out in the open, just no one cares. And now I do think that still, but I also think that a lot of stuff has been done by intelligence agencies and stuff that we don't know. So that's my biggest conspiracy. Like, pretty sure JFK got killed by CIA, etc. Mainly because I've listened to mad podcasts where they go into it in detail.
Right,
I like all that shit.
Do you believe in any?
Should I say it? Well, I believe this is not really conspiracy theory, but
The Earth
I
is
believe
flat.
like I had a friend whose boyfriend believed that the Earth was flat, and she was like, "Should I break up with him?" I'm like, "He believes the Earth is flat. Leave him." Like, you know.
I believe Kurt Cobain died from drinking hot tub water.
He turned the hot tub on himself. I love that saying. Like, he turned the thing on himself. I believe I've got to like. I believe that like. Okay, so I think that like there are loads of posh people doing pop music nowadays. And it used to be working class people in the late 90s. And I think that there's going to be, like, there should be a human rights, like, court case on pop stars in the late 90s, early 2000s. Because, like, I believe they were overworked and they were working class and they were treated like shit. I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory.
Is this just because you've done a podcast with Kerry Katona? Is that what she's been telling you?
Do you know what? I never properly talked to her about that because I was like too afraid.
She shouldn't have had to carry those Iceland platters on her. There's a lot of prawn rings on her, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of burden to have. She's so great. We did Celebrity Gogglebox in Ireland together, and my sister lent us her house to do Gogglebox in, and she's so cool because she'll just give me actual real life advice. Yeah, I've never asked Kerry about pop stuff. The best advice she ever said to me was, Alison, never marry your drug dealer, Alison. Especially if he's a shit one. And I'm like, that's the greatest, like, genuine. It's like nuggets of gold like that make it incredible to be around Kerry. Like, she's the most self-deprecating, charming person in the world. Like, in a really nice way. But, like, the press have absolutely destroyed her in so many ways. But yet, she's like a phoenix. She rises. Yeah. I love people like that. Yeah. I love people that get like fucked over by the press.
Yeah, why was she getting fucked over?
Well, you know, you never really see Made in Chelsea people getting fucked over by the press. And they're up to the same shit. But Geordie Shore people will. I do think that there's a weird thing where the press make a lot of money off the working class and yet destroy them at the same time. And it's like, I don't like that aspect of it at all. Yeah, is that a conspiracy theory?
I guess so, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's...
My conspiracy is that I think working class people are treated as disposable. More so than... That's not a fucking conspiracy theory. That's the real thing.
That's the real thing.
And I love like pop stars from the late 90s and stuff because they've worked really hard. And they just want a fucking house in Essex. Let them have her house. Yeah. You know? But definitely they're getting people from S Club 7 definitely got less than the minimum wage. Yeah. If you look at like how often they worked and stuff. This is my one thing that I'm like semi-serious about where I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
I think that Pyrenees and the shops.
Come on, tell me about this.
Pyrenees, Nando's Pyrenees in a supermarket is mild flavours spicier than the one in Nando's. The mild one in the Nando's restaurants. And I will die on that hill.
Do you think it's like because it lasts longer? Is it like the spice?
Sorry?
What do you think it's like less spicy because they're hoping it lasts longer No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be that.
There might be a reason for it.
What is
Maybe
the
they keep
reason?
it in the
What's the
fridge
reason?
longer in the restaurant.
No, because it's on the shelves in the restaurant.
That's true.
No. Nah.
Are we talking Pyrenees like that comes in the little thing in the restaurant?
The little ones in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's perfect spice.
Yeah.
The ones in the supermarket, wow. That's like hot.
Do you mix in your own mayo to milden it?
Sometimes I have to.
So you're like, it's too hot. The one that you
too
get
hot.
in the shop.
Yeah.
So
it's not too hot. I still eat it, but I'm like, it's too much.
It does sound like something you get slagged for. It's like, oh, your boyfriend thinks Pyrenees is too spicy.
I think I've seen that scrawled up in a bathroom wall somewhere.
Yeah, but that is true. So I will.
That's what you'll stand by.
I want to kind of get to the bottom of it.
Rita Ora, what's going on there? Like, she was someone that was big. Like, when I first started doing radio, she was just coming up, and I was like, not interested in her.
Did you think she'd be like a one-hit wonder and then...
Definitely. I was like, she's getting Rihanna's off cuts. There's too much Rihanna on the radio. They're just giving her the off cuts. Yeah. But still, she persists.
Well, she's married to
like a phoenix.
Like a phoenix, yeah. But
I go with Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, and she's got like I say this
toxic.
Right?
That's a cost.
He's one of those guys. He like left his family, right? Was that whole thing?
Oh,
really? I love this.
Talking about films, I fucking hated that Jojo Rabbit thing. I thought it was terrible.
And I felt I was only in the minority.
I don't like his other films.
I hate it. All right.
I didn't.
I've not seen his other stuff.
Have you seen like the Wilder People?
Yeah.
Thing? I like that, but I get like Boy is good. I liked Boy.
Not seen that one.
But yeah, I didn't like Jojo Rabbit. Like it just felt like what was it trying to say?
It was more like I actually thought the sort of poignant bits were alright, but the stuff that was trying to be funny where he's coming in like Hitler and all that, I'm like, this is awful.
It's kind of theatre funny. Do you ever go to a theatre show where it's like, this is the best comedy that's been here for years, and you watch it, and there's like 4 laughs, and you're like, one of them is a pressure laugh, which I don't count as a real laugh, you know?
I get the vibe that that's his vibe is theatre funny.
Yeah.
I get that's how I feel about it.
But she's like Shrek, she's got a collection in Primark at the moment.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, she actually, they two went to a Shrek remake of the Swamp House.
Where?
In Scotland somewhere. It's
like
an Airbnb because she's a big fan.
There's an Airbnb of a Shrek swap place.
Something like that.
Yeah, have you not seen that? It's like
no.
I don't think it's like open all year.
Do you want to go?
I think it's like
let's do it.
Imagine we just mention it, but that's where we recorded this.
Get out of that swamp!
That would be amazing. Yeah, that's the
dream one day.
That is the dream. I bet it's expensive to go to that.
Well,
it was one of those things where they're doing like big competitions on Instagram and like share it and you can stay there. Or
we could, if we managed to go there, we could record an episode in it, and then
there's nothing to say we can't record a podcast. The Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek the pod. Get Mike Myers over.
That'd be good. I know. Imagine we got something Eddie Murphy.
I'd be like, the way you treated Mel B was a disgrace. But I still love you.
He'll be on trial in that court case for 90 slaves.
How dare you deny?
Have you ever been to the Shrek Adventure in London?
I have.
I've never been, but I was reading reviews of it and it doesn't sound good.
No, like me and my friend went to... So me and my friend, actually the friend that I bought the Shrek jumper for, we have 2 very big things in common. We have 3 very, very big things in common. A traumatized childhood.
It's almost like the things might be connected.
A big love of Shrek and EastEnders. We both love EastEnders. Right. We went to an EastEnders exhibition in Barryoke in London, and we thought it was going to be like a legit exhibition because we see. Like, I see people on EastEnders, like, those are the people I get actually starstruck by.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, other people. Other people are like Emma Thompson. I'm like, yeah, she's cool. But Natalie Cassidy, like, who played Sonia of EastEnders, I love that shit. So we went to this exhibition.
I'd love to meet Barry. Have you met him?
Have you heard of Barryoke?
Oh, yeah.
I've been to Barryoke twice so far. I'm actually, like... I'm actually writing something about it at the moment because I've been rejected from Barryoke twice. And the second time I cried.
Oh.
Rejected as in what? They wouldn't let you sing?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
It wasn't Barry who made the decision, it was his sidekick.
Is this why you've started your own Fringe karaoke?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. New metal karaoke.
Yeah.
Which
that was good.
Please do it
I
this year.
I don't know. Last year. It was good fun, wasn't it?
I felt like it was a proper, like, with the new metal karaoke, like, I think with the Fringe, there's a separation between Scottish comedians and London comedians. I don't want to see the separation gone.
I think it's slowly starting to get better, I think, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the internet.
And it was also, can I say another thing, an absolute disgrace that like, last year, the nominations of, like, I thought there was a fair few people from Scotland that deserved nominations for the Edinburgh Award. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
I'll go back to...
You're absolutely
But
free to make that
Yeah,
opinion.
we
But
won't
it-
disagree with me.
But it opened
That's
my
a
eyes. I
conspiracy.
was like,
Yeah, well, yeah.
there's a bias though.
Yeah.
I think against Scottish comedians in Edinburgh, because like
I just
the
think.
only shows I heard people talking about last year were 80% Scottish shows.
Wow.
Like the people were recommending,
Yeah, yeah.
and that anyway. I
And
don't
even-
think any of them were nominated.
Even
were they?
like people
No.
based in Scotland, like Liam.
Well,
Murphy.
I think that's probably mean as well. Like Liam and
Crystal.
Crystal and stuff
Crystal.
were the ones that
Yeah.
certainly
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but back to the what was it? You asked me a different question.
It was
I
about,
forgot.
we're all over the place here, but it's about
Yeah.
karaoke, but because, you're in your nice
Shrek
Primark
world.
Shrek t-shirt now.
Yes.
But the best Shrek outfit I've seen you was a homemade one that
Shrek
you wore. Do you remember
slut.
what it said? Yeah,
Shrek
Shrek slut, but the S had the ears on it, like Shrek. And you had a fucking hat, I think, with the ears as well.
Yeah, I made a Shrek. So I got a green
Oh my
hat and my
God.
friend drew Shrek's face on it. And I got two green loofahs made ears out of it. And I wrote, so I had Shrek's slut across the front. And then on the arse I had the swamp. And I'm not a body confident person, but for some reason I would run around half naked dressed as Shrek just around the Edinburgh Fringe. What did I did that for the new metal karaoke.
Yeah.
And I did
Very funny.
I did a DJ competition as well as Shrek Slut. And I played Smash Mouth and it won.
So yeah, sorry, Shrek's Adventure.
Shrek Adventureland. So me and my friend got really drunk at an EastEnders themed bottomless brunch. That was absolute shite. Do not recommend it. But we got absolutely pissed. And then so we were drunk at like 2:00 in the day.
Actually, do you know what? There is a weird connection because what is the catchphrase of Shrek? Stay out of my swamp. What's the catchphrse of EastEnders?
Stay out my
Get out
pub.
of my pub.
Get out of my
Yeah.
pub.
That's
My
so
pub.
true. And it's said in the same cadence as that.
It is.
Yeah.
Get out of my pub.
That's true.
And EastEnders like, here, what's going on? That's what they say. Oh, I love it. I love EastEnders so much. But so we were daytime drunk on a Sunday. And we're like, what should we do? We got to train into Central. And then we're like, feck it, let's go to Shrek World. And from what I remember, because we were really drunk, we were weirded out by how many children there were at the Shrek place. I was like, what are all these kids doing at Shrek Adventureland? Like this, and we were the only two adults with no kids there, and it became very clear that we were drunk. And you can see like the eyes of the actors who were playing the characters like flicking across to us, and we were like, just stuck, really, really drunk in Shrek Adventureland. Yeah, it's
You're like a problematic stag doing a gig.
yeah, we were. Where the comedian keeps checking it. You all right there? And, we're all having a good time, aren't we? But, yeah, they're welcome. It's fine. That's what we were like. Yeah, and it was. I wouldn't. It was very expensive for what it was. If you get a voucher, I would go to Shrek Adventureland. But I think it all depends on the mood of the people that are working there as well. Like,
Is it got like rides and stuff, or is it just the?
they got like a virtual roller coaster
Right.
that like.
So no.
Is that like one of those fucking things you see in like Escape and stuff?
Aye, and
and
it's
it's
like
like
you
a
sit in
Yeah,
and it
that's
moves a
well,
bit.
yeah.
I love those things.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
there's no
got
risk.
trapped in one when
Yeah.
I was a
Did
wee
you?
guy, yeah, and I've never went in once since.
It scared the shit out of like the kids. They were crying and stuff like
Yeah.
in Shrek Adventureland, and yeah, it was a mad experience.
I recommend reading the reviews on, like Google reviews
What are they
for
saying?
Shrek Adventure. Because I checked out one time. The funny thing is, everyone thinks it's a piece of shit. They all hate it. But obviously, like when they respond, like the corporate response, they've got to sort of put a brave face on it and make it sound like, oh well, we're sorry you didn't have a good time. But they do it in character,
Oh.
like the response.
Amazing.
So like, we're sorry you didn't have the most magical, wonderful time. But it's like treading line between corporate speak and like kids speak, and then they'll sign off like best wishes donkey,
Oh, amazing.
and it's all over the gaff. It's really funny.
Oh wow, because that is emotional manipulation. If it's like a faceless corporation, you're like fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
What if it's Eddie Murphy as Donkey? You're like, oh, I'm sure I had a good time.
and also Donkey would be a bit more sassy than that. He wouldn't be like so sorry. He'd be like, shut the hell up.
My wife's a dragon. I
Yeah.
can get you killed. I love there's a hotel in Ireland. I love it when they reply back to bad reviews. So someone was saying this place smelled very bad. It was very dirty. And then the reply was, well, you smelt too. And it was like, you have body odor. And I love that shit. I love
Very
that shit.
petty.
Yeah.
This place smells and is dirty. It would be a 5-star review of the Shrek Airbnb.
Yeah! Disgusting.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, Alison, I was curious about how you found moving to London and stuff like that, and how it's been for comedy versus doing it in Ireland and stuff.
So in Ireland, people in London take their career a lot more seriously, and you do find yourself striving to be better because it becomes embarrassing if you do the same material. Like in Ireland, the audiences were class. I didn't have to change any of my references or anything like that, and you just have a lovely time because the audience, Irish people understand that there's stories to be told and that you don't have to have a fucking pun.
Yeah.
Do you know, like the thing that I dislike about London audiences is that like they are so unimpressed by you because they could be watching Les Mis now. They're watching you.
It could be a Shrek adventure.
Yeah. And they love wordplay. They love and that's my least favourite type of humour. It's a kind of like, you know, like I know words. It's like, okay.
Yeah, very droll.
Yeah.
Cleverness over wisdom.
But do you know a paedophile man? I got some stories about that. But I do, I found it, how do I find it? I love my friends. I have a lot more friends that are comedians now in London because when I moved up to Dublin, I moved up to work in radio and I had pals and stuff, and I do find a lot more of my friends are comedians now, which I don't know is a good balance. Like I can find it because I'm going out with my boyfriend 11 years, and sometimes if it's just comedians, and he used to be a comic, but like comedy is not his life, you know, and I do find like if we're at a dinner party and there's all comedians, it must be absolutely terrible to be in the company of 7 comedians.
Yeah.
Because we're just bitching about someone you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about, like, who's getting Apollo this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're all trying to out-joke each other.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's, like, a bit mad.
Yeah.
But I think I've become a better comedian since I moved to London.
That environment of everyone getting better and stuff.
Doing it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and, like, and you have little goals that you set up. And in Ireland, like, I had a TV show, but I couldn't afford to, like, save up for a house. So I was like, well, if I can't save up for a house and I have a TV show, I can't live here.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd give it a go. And now all of my savings are absolutely depleted. I'm living, but I love doing it. And I hope it works out for me.
It seems to be.
I think you'll be alright.
But it's mad because I think in London, I don't know about I think when I lived in Ireland and I'd be listening to podcasts about comedy from people that lived in London, a lot of like the media that covers comedy is very London centric. So I had these ideas of, it would be great to get this and it'd be great to get that. But then you get there and you realise that's like, who gives a fuck about that type of thing? So it is. Any of you ever consider moving to London?
I might have done if it wasn't for the pandemic and stuff, and then but I always thought I'd maybe go give it a year or two. I'd probably just get a job, and then if it didn't work out, I'd come back up the road and start a podcast. And I just missed it that middle bit.
And then we can't move because we've got this. It's like having a kid.
But it is a kid that's thriving, do you know? And also, like, I don't know, like in London, there's some gigs I do. And I'm trying to think of a realistic way to talk about London without making it sound like I'm wasting my life and it's grim. Because, like, the train strikes were on last week and my dad gave me a lift from a part of Pocklington to Leek. And definitely, like, he looked at how many chairs were out and it wasn't that many chairs out. And he kind of did the maths in his head and he's like, do you need money? Are you okay? Like, and it's like, I feel like half the thing of doing comedy is just keeping up this lie as well that, like, we're doing. This sounds. I don't know. I don't want to end the podcast in a weird way. But do you ever get your family like worried about it working out for you?
Sure.
Yeah. And it's like it's so weird for me because I've built my life, my whole adult life. I've done comedy.
Yeah.
And I just love doing it. And I'm a shithead with finances and stuff that I'm like, I'll be fine. But now I have to like think about it. And I'm like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? You know? But I'm glad I moved from Dublin to London. I do feel like I've become a better comic, and I just hope like I sort my life out. I might, you know, because I keep getting told as well. Do you ever get this like, fake it till you make it? Like make out you're a winner.
Yeah.
And all you do on Instagram is like tweet about your wins and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it just feels it feels like we're all involved in a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And we're all like
Multi-level
lying to
marketing.
the next people. And you, because you have a podcast and everything, do you ever get like younger comedians go, oh, it must be so cool to do this? And I'm like, is it, man? I'm in a shed. You know?
Just doing our thing, you know.
Exactly. No, it's true, yeah.
It's true.
Sure.
I just remembered when you're talking about that way Ireland, because when we done Kilkenny last year.
Oh man, that was so fun.
So much fun. But
I
you
love
brought
that.
me on stage by getting the audience to sing a hymn.
Oh, did I?
I was like, this is the most fucking Irish shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man, yeah. They fucking loved it.
I loved it.
It was like a sleeper cell. Like you were like, here I am, Lord. It was
that's not what I come on stage. It is I, Lord.
That is an absolute tune.
That is a belter.
I support West Bromwich Albion and they sing a hymn. They sing, "The Lord is my shepherd." You know, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall what He lays me down to lie." I think "Here I Am, Lord" should be a football chant. It would work out better.
It was a Celtic song for a bit.
Was
about
it?
Brendan Rodgers, aye.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh my God, beautiful.
Why did you support West Brom?
My dad supports West Brom. It's mad, like, it's mad. I watch a lot of, like, my TikTok algorithms are lots of fights. I watch lots of fights. Yesterday, actually, I was on Queen Street and two people were having a fight and they got into it. I was really good. Do you know what I love about Glasgow is that people will openly watch a fight. Because you can't really do that in London. They'll be like, what are you looking at? But like people were like, it was like school. Little ring of people like just seeing how this plays out.
You seen a fight, have you not?
I'm going to let's talk about this in the Patreon.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But yeah, I did
literally.
literally. It was very much the same. It's like this is like high school shit. What the fuck is going on?
Oh, it's beautiful. And like what I love, my favorite type of fight is a fight where someone will throw in a few kicks, but no one gets severely injured. So I don't feel weird about watching it. You know, sometimes I'll watch a fight on TikTok. I'm like, someone's got a permanent injury there. I shouldn't be watching it. Is it life changing?
It's almost a snuff video.
Yeah, exactly. My TikTok is pure snuff. Like, it's so weird.
Just rotten.com, but for
Rotten.com.
TikTok generation.
Or people that wear too much fake tan. Like, it's not either or. What were we chatting about before? I was chatting about fights.
It was London and stuff.
Yeah, London's grand. It's expensive to live there. Dublin was so expensive though. Like there's a housing crisis there.
Yeah.
And what do I like about London? I don't know. Like there's things that I wanted to achieve that I have achieved. It's a weird. You have this like little list of stuff you want to do. One of them was going House of Games.
Yeah.
House of Games. That's filmed in Glasgow.
In Glasgow,
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, wow. Because I went on to Queen Street railway station and I had the memory of being picked up for House of Games from there, and I'm like,
Sorry, we couldn't provide the same car.
Yeah.
We'll give you a suitcase with Richard Osman's face on it.
We can do you a mug in a tote bag. That's
but no, with London, I love London. I moved just before the pandemic though, which I feel like I don't really like. I spent the pandemic in London, which was silly. I should have went back to Ireland. Like even being here, the smell of here is very similar to the smell of Ireland. And I was looking around. Yeah, fresh. Yeah. It's a really lovely agricultural smell. slightly, there is the smell of shit. Of course. But like, it's animal shit. There's weirdly something like grounding about it. You're like, okay, cool. It's the world, you know? There's an undertone of shit. I like London. There's a weird part of me that wants to do well in London, but then move out of London.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I want to live I would like to live in Glasgow. Most of my friends have moved to Glasgow. So I would like to, I'd like to do the things I set out to do and then live in Glasgow. Because the houses are beautiful here.
Yeah.
And the communities are class.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defo, yeah.
No, yeah.
100%.
Fit right in.
Absolutely. I'd love it. So I'd give me 2 years in London. Let me sort out some stuff. And then, basically.
By then, hopefully, we can be recording in the Shrek place. And then you can just come and join us.
That'd be like, yeah. We've even got Shrek socks today. Triple bagging. Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, Alison, thank you so much for joining us before you go.
Thank you. Yeah.
What have you got to plug? You're on tour at the moment?
I'm on tour at the moment. I'm on tour and I'm doing some work in progresses for the next show. It's going to be any comedians watching that wants to come to New Metal Karaoke Night and sing, please contact me. That'd be great crack. And
are you doing that again at the Fringe?
Oh yeah, the last Thursday of the Fringe in Monkey Barrel.
I'm doing Bloodhound Gang, but it won't be the lyrics. Won't be the official lyrics.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make up your own.
I don't, because what did you do last? I done Rolling last year by Limp Bizkit.
I miss you, Blink-182.
That was great. That was such a good choice.
I think that was one of my favourite times on stage.
Remember there was some guy that kept trying to duet with you though.
Yeah, and you.
Some random.
I love. There was a random that kept trying to take the mic and sing, and I feel like the Scottish comedians really got a hold. They're like, boo! No, man, no!
That's what I love.
Yeah, I felt secure. Definitely get some. Trying to think of new tunes for the New Metal Karaoke, but it'd be a good crack.
And that's, are you doing a new show at the Fringe then as well?
Yeah, it's called. I'm trying to think of I want to do a thing about the green M&M, about the fuckability of the green M&M.
Something about green
cartoon figures.
I know there is, isn't there? I'm Irish.
This reminds me. Reminds me of someone I can't put my finger on. As you wear the Shrek jumper.
There is no question about fuckability of Shrek. Shrek's class. I'd say Shrek's great at giving you a cuddle after and all that shit. It must feel great to be Shrek's wife. He hates everything, but he doesn't hate you.
It's quite sweet, actually. Isn't it?
Yeah. I've nothing else to promote other than that. I've got old podcast, The Wheel of Misfortune.
Great.
And the Alison Spittle Show. And I've got a new podcast that I'm making at the moment that's going to be about take a break magazines. Real life, you know those magazines that women read when they go to hospital.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it'll be I caught my husband in bed with the ghost of my mother kind of
I
thing.
love all that.
That type of shit.
I used to work in the co-op and I used to read that on
Did
my
ya?
lunch break. It was great. Yeah.
It's so good, isn't it? It's a scandal.
Yeah.
I love gossip and I love scandal, and we're gonna get people to send in voice messages. I love voice notes.
Well, that was you done that on Wheel of Misfortune.
I
and,
know.
that was brilliant. I listened to a lot of that during lockdown. Actually,
Did
you and
ya?
Fern's one.
Me and Fern, what happened was lockdown happened, and my tour got cancelled, and I was crying on the phone to Fern, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's right," but she didn't think it was gonna happen to her either.
Yeah.
And then her tour got cancelled, and then she's like, "Let's do a podcast." So we did a podcast, and we used to voice note each other all the time about embarrassing stuff that happened to us. So that was the only thing that we could think of that we could do, but get the listeners to send in voice notes. So we got a burner phone, and people send in voice notes. And there's only one voice note that's ever not made it past the legal department of the BBC.
Right. Wow.
And that was I'll tell you what happened. So it was under flatmates. It was flatmates. The subject was flatmates. So there was this dude in Ireland, and a new guy from a different country had moved in, and he was asking about Irish culture. So he was like, "Is it rude in Ireland to do this? Is it rude in Ireland to do that?" And this flatmate would be chatting with the person from the other country, and telling him bits about Ireland. I was like, "That's cool," and he also lived with a set of twins. And then a
Jedward.
week, yeah. Well, a week later, the guy from the other country said, "What's Ireland's attitudes toward incest?" And he's like surprised by it. He's like, well, like it's frowned upon. Like,
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, right?
Not in my village anyway. So the guy goes, okay, cool. And then a few days later, the guy from the other country goes back to him and he goes, look, I have to tell you something. The two twins are fucking each other regularly in this house.
The Island Boys?
Yeah, they were from Ireland.
Burnt Island Boys.
Remember the...
The Ireland Boys.
Is that a boy band?
There's these guys online called the Island Boys and they're twins who shag each other.
No way.
Yeah.
What? Which part of the internet are you finding these like?
We'll send you some links.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting instead of fights.
Put a link in the description.
So that was like, there was like a legal chat about like whether that could go on. I mean, they said it better than me. Like it was way better than me story wise.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or there was a load of suicide ones that didn't get on it either. Because me and Fern wanted to do an episode about being mental. Because that's our favourite thing to chat about. And our friend Maurice came on because she stayed in the same mental institution as Kanye West. So we were like, good, yeah, get her on as a guest, man. She's got some stories.
I know,
like,
Maurice.
Genuinely. And like, so we did this we got loads of people sending voice notes about their embarrassing times being mental. And like one woman, she decided to kill herself, but how she was going to do it was she was going to get an iron and use the cord of the iron to hang herself with. And so she put the iron onto a ceiling door, that goes up to an attic.
Right.
She put that up there as an anchor. She's like, great, gonna do this. So she hopped off the chair with the cord around her neck. But when she jumped, the iron just fell on top of her head and knocked her out. So she woke up like with a cord around her neck and the iron. She's like, I've made a mistake. And she never tried to kill herself ever again.
Wow.
But I don't know why, but I laughed at that a lot.
It's quite a feel-good story.
Half the time I tell stories and then people are like, and I'm like, oh no, it was funny in my head. So like they didn't want to do anything that was about any kind of way to, because me and Fern have tried to kill ourselves a few times, but it's always funny. It's like, yeah, because there's nothing more than failing to kill yourself. It's like you'd feel there's no bigger failure than that. Like, you know what I mean? There was a place called Suicide Bridge. I'll shut up talking now, right? But someone I know used to work in a building.
This is all technically under the plug section, by the way.
So I'd like to plug it. Suicide.
There's a suicide bridge and you can go there.
There's a few suicide bridges in different towns.
Yeah,
like,
you should probably not call them that, I think.
There's Samaritan stuff all along this bridge.
Yes,
and I was like driving along with someone and they go, oh, someone from my building site jumped off Suicide Bridge. And the Suicide Bridge is one of the highest bridges over railway tracks. But the person who jumped off the side of Suicide Bridge jumped and fell into the one and only tree below Suicide Bridge. Wow. So they hurt themselves a lot, like broke their legs and stuff. And what's that? But then they came back to the building site. And they referred to him as Fuck Up. That was his name. He fucked up trying to kill him. Imagine you're having banter with someone and trying to kill themselves. I know it'll cheer up this guy who tried to commit suicide. We're just going to have a big slagging match over him not managing it.
Do it right next time, mate. Did you see that the Samaritans things on the bridge? Did you phone them up and pretend to be George Bush?
Things have gone really bad.
I'm going to turn the iron on myself.
The war on terror did not work. Yeah. So no, I've no other plugs.
That's great.
Alison Spittle on Instagram.
Thank you so much for being here.
Cheers, Alison.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And just as ever before we go, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at SomeLaughPod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, and send any question you've got to the email address, which is somelaughpod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers. Thanks, Alison.
Wow,
Thank you.
I love it.